To set geographic and device bid adjustments, use our tool under Bids for geo and device bid adjustments. When you load up this tool, by default it starts with bid adjustments for the country, but you can select the type of bid adjustment you want to do here. For geographies, you can choose between country, region, city, and postal code. You don't even need to be targeting specific cities. Google already has the data. For example, if you're targeting your ads to show in the whole United States, Google already has the data from the performance in cities like San Francisco and New York. So this tool should work right out of the box for most people. Postal codes are not supported in all countries, so whether your country supports it or not will also determine if this tool will work for you or not. At the top level, you see the geography for which we have data, with the combined stats for that entire geography, as well as the number of campaigns, or in the case of devices, campaigns and ad groups, that are showing for that specific region or that specific device type. So here you can see the individual data for each of the different campaigns within the region of Australia. Here's where the tool gets interesting. When you want to set bid adjustments, you see the current bid adjustment already set for the campaign for a specific geography. But we can automatically help you calculate the correct setting. So just tell us what it is you're targeting. Is it a cost per conversion, a CPA, conversion value divided by cost, ROAS, or an average CPC? In this case, we're going to go with cost per conversion. I'll put in the number that we have as a target here for cost per acquisition, and then I'll hit the update button. Now we've calculated the new bids, and you can already see those in green and in red. We also tell you what sort of allowed changes we're allowed to make. So let's go for the full spectrum of going all the way down to minus 990% and all the way up to 990%. And we'll leave the aggressiveness bar set at 0. So we'll update that. And now we can look at the actual numbers. And these are the suggestions to help us hit a cost per acquisition target of $20. So as you can see in this particular campaign, because our current CPA is $13, we can actually afford to spend a little bit more to hit a $20 CPA target. So the bid would be increased by 52% for this geography in this campaign. Whereas this campaign here is currently performing at almost $120 CPA, so it's recommended to decrease the bid by 83%. Now, it may be a bit risky to decrease the bid all the way by 83% based off of just a single conversion point of data. So let's go ahead and change that. In our filters, rather than using one of the standard ones from Optmyzr, you can create a new filter. So here I'm going to say I want to see only items where I have at least 3 conversion data points. So once we apply that filter, notice a lot of the suggestions are gone. Now I have at least 3 conversions for all of the items where I would be making a bid adjustment. But what about those campaigns and locations that didn't have 3 conversions? What if we could set bids based on some aggregate information, for example, the aggregate country or region level data? So we go back to setting bids, and now we check this option to say that if a campaign doesn't have enough data, use the total to apply the bid change. Now when we update this, and you look back at the results, you see that all the locations without enough data have come back into the view. But what they've done is they've inherited the aggregate level. So for Australia in aggregate, we think it should be a minus 34% bid adjustment. And we've put that in for the 2 campaigns that didn't have enough individual data themselves. A few final things. If you want to make more gentle bid adjustments, use the aggressiveness. Instead of using 100%, for example, set it to 10%. That means we're only going to make 10% of the recommended adjustment. You can come back several weeks in a row and eventually you'll get to the correct bid setting, but you won't shock your account with a huge change all at once. You can also make sure you're not bidding too frequently by using this option to prevent yourself from bidding frequently for items that you recently changed through this tool.